Welcome to Costa Maya.
Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today we're exploring one of the most incredible hidden gems of the Mexican Caribbean, the Chacchoben Mayan Ruins right here in Costa Maya. We're stepping back in time to uncover mysterious temples, sacred plazas, and the fascinating history of the Mayan civilization, tucked away beneath the jungle canopy. So grab your hats, your sense of adventure, and let's dive into the stories behind this ancient Mayan city. Let's go! Costa Maya is a premier purpose-built cruise port in Quintana Roo, Mexico, featuring a large, self-contained terminal with shopping, dining, and pools, located near the charming fishing village of Mahahual. Known for its stunning Caribbean beaches, nearby Mayan ruins like Chacchoben, and diving in the Mesoamerican reef, it offers a mix of relaxing, adventure, and cultural activities for visitors.
You're very welcome to Mexico. You're very welcome to Costa Maya. And now, amigos, we're going to Chacchoben Mayan Ruins. That is the name, that is the pronunciation, Chacchoben. Okay? Well, amigos, nowadays we're having a population of over 7 million Mayan descendants. Perhaps it may sound a lot because, there are some countries with less than 7 million inhabitants, but for Mayans it's not. This is because when the Mayan civilization flourished, they got a population of over 20 million people. And nowadays, 7 million no Mayans are the descendants, and from that 7 million, unfortunately, only 1 million speakers, which means that we're losing the language, so the culture. Well, amigos, in my case, I'm a Mayan descendant. My both parents are Mayans, and I speak Mayan too. So today we're going to learn some Mayan words, some Mayan phrases. Well, amigos, cash, exactly that same pronunciation, the same way in Mayan, means chicken. Yes, if you pronounce cash over here, people will understand chicken. And there are certain words that can be a little bit funny, disgusting, natural. It depends how you take them, okay? For example, the word kiss. Kiss is another very common word in English. But in Mayan, guys, you need to be careful. In Mayan, kiss, exactly that same pronunciation, the same way, means to fart, okay? Yes, to fart, gases, But if you add ing, like kissing, then it takes a completely different meaning again. So kissing means the devil. So we better be careful with whatever we ask over here, right? So if you don't want a surprise, a slap to invoke the devil or something like that, then what you need to say is ink and oops. Okay, that's how you ask for a kiss. Sounds difficult? As I told you, the language is super different. Ink at. It's like if you're speaking with your throat. Ink at. And then toots. You touch your pat and you feed with your tongue. Toots. Ink at toots. That's how you ask for a kiss in Maya. Amigos, Mayans were excellent mathematicians, astronomers, builders. They were super accurate in many files. How that Mayans were super accurate? Well, this is because, amigos, Mayans were the only civilization in this continent, in the whole America, that developed the idea of zero, that invented the zero. Because of that, they were able to count until infinite, using only 3 symbols. With only 3, they were able to count until infinite. And they were one of the 3 civilizations in the whole history that invented paper. Only 3 invented it. Chinese, Egyptians, and Mayans. Only them. Mayans invented amate paper. Because of that, they were able to write books, to make books, and to gather a lot of information with very accurate dates, as they used to write in leather, paper, wood, and stones. Unfortunately, guys, even though so, nowadays, we're not having almost any information about them. This is because when the Spanish arrived, they brought their own religion, the Catholicism. When they saw the Mayans had a different religion, different gods, they saw them as a pagans. It was a sin to have another god. So what they did, well, priests ordered to burn all the books, to destroy all the stelas, all the carvings, all the lintels, all the information Mayans just gathered. Because of that, unfortunately, officially, nowadays, we're having only 4 codex. Only 4, which are Dresden Codex in Germany, Paris Codex in France, Madrid Codex in Spain, and the Grolier Codex, the only one here in Mexico City, as we were having books, for example, the Popol Vuh, the Chilam Balam. If you have the opportunity to read them, I highly recommend you. The Popol Vuh, guys, for example, is popular known as the Mayan Bible because of the topics they speak about over there. For example, just at the beginning, there is a story pretty similar to the story of Noah. Have you heard of that story, the story of Noah from the Bible? Okay, well, according to this book, to the Popol Vuh, humans were created in different attempts. The one similar to the story of Noah was the second try. Apparently, these Mayan gods created humans. They describe it as made of wood. Yes, and there is no Mayan religion anymore. There is no Mayan religion anymore. About 60-70% of the population in Mexico are Catholics. The other 30-40% is divided into different religions or people without religions. This is because, amigos, the Catholicism was an important tool to control the slaves back those days. Okay, and well, guys, as I told you, there is no Mayan religion anymore because of that. But even though so, nowadays we're having there's still one God that survived, okay? Only one God, and this is Chac, the God of the rain. This is because, amigos, Chac was and still is super important for agriculture. Even nowadays, guys, there are some people still pray and worship Chac, asking for good rain, for crops, for good plantations, okay? And even in big cities, when people see this getting cloudy about rain, something like that, people usually say to Chac. To Chac, amigos, literally means Chac is coming, referring that it's about to rain. But again, this is the only one that survived. For any Costa Maya tradition, people usually pray to Jesus Christ. So same tradition, different God, except for Chac, the God of the rain, the only one that survived. Okay, again, because he was super important for agriculture, and still for some people in hiding towns where there's no access, so there's no infrastructure driving water, so that's why they still depend on rain, sinkholes, lagoons, rivers, water that you can just find in nature. Okay. Okay, amigos, we're just getting closer to Chacchoben Mayan Ruins. Because of the monkeys, amigos, we are not allowed to bring anything to eat at the archaeological site. But we can bring things for drinking. Next to Pedro or driver, there is a cooler with water already included for you. They come in these cans, okay? This is water. I know this looks like soda, but it's actually water, okay? If you want to grab it, you can do it. It's already included. Also, if you brought your own water, soda, energizer, coffee, whatever for drinking is okay. Just nothing for eating. So just things for drinking, okay? If you're planning to use a handycam, GoPro-like 360 camera, action camera, you will need to pay an extra fee of $4 as they have the copyrights for video only for those devices. Otherwise, if you're going to use your phone, regular camera, semi-professional camera, then it's okay. You don't need to pay for anything extra. Only if you're going to use any of those tiny ones, okay? Handycams, GoPro-like 360 camera, action camera. Drones are not allowed, amigos, okay? We are not allowed to use drones. Okay, guys, so here we are. Chacchoben Mayan Ruins. Restrooms facilities are on the right-hand side. At the very, very end of the service area on the right, okay? And then the meeting point will be on the left-hand side. There are some big words in colors where it says Chacchoben. That will be the meeting point, okay? Just next to the first bus in line. And again, once we got everybody, we're going to walk all together inside the archaeological site. Restrooms on the right, meet you on the left-hand side. We are amigos Chacchoben.
Chacchoben, translated as Place of Red Corn, is one of the most prominent Mayan archaeological sites in the Costa Maya region of Quintana Roo, Mexico. Located approximately 50 minutes from the cruise port of Mahahual, it offers a deep dive into ancient history amidst a lush jungle setting. Human settlement at the site dates as far back as 1000 BC, though most of the visible monumental structures were built between 200 and 700 AD during the Mayan Classic period. The ruins are surrounded by tropical rainforest. Visitors frequently spot spider monkeys, iguanas, and various exotic birds while walking the jungle paths.
This is a tomb, okay? Archaeologists found here, yes, a tomb, 3 skeletons. One baby that was from 3 to 9 months old and 2 adults. A family baby. They just found it 2 years ago, 2023. All this was all forest, guys. They were planning to open a new shopping area and a restaurant. As they were cleaning the area and all these things, they just found this tomb over there. Actually, over here we got the photo of the skeleton right here, and you can find as well the date, okay, 2023. Chacchoben means the place of red corn. Unfortunately, as I told you, we don't have so much information about Mayans, so we don't even know the original name of this place. It was given only by the archaeologists. This place was found at the beginning, and I am for it by a farmer called Sevillano Cuo. What happened? He didn't tell anyone about this place. So he was farming all around the area at the 40s until the 70s. Then, at the 70s, he hosted archaeologists to name is Peter Harrison.
No.
And as Peter Harrison told the government about this place, officially, this place was found in 1972 by Peter Harrison. But here we know the very first one was Sevillano Cuo, the farmer. Amigos, this area, Chacchoben, belongs to the latest Mayan pre-classical period to the earliest Mayan post-classical period, which is from the 200 before Christ till the 900 after Christ. And all these buildings, guys, were built with limestone and a special kind of mortar, which was a mix of mud, clay, lime, some type of some sticky trees, and water. If you're wondering where they took all that limestone, well, the full peninsula of Yucatan is a huge platform of limestone. So if we dig a little bit, we'll eventually find a lot of it. It's very easy, and they used to make quarries as well. Actually, guys, all this is lime. Okay? Now, that building is the building number 24. That was a multifunctional building, but mainly used as a ceremonial building, which means they was mainly used, well, for praying, giving gifts to the gods, ceremonies, perhaps sacrifices of both humans and animals as well. Amigos, these buildings were built nesting those like Matroshka, Russian. You know them? Yes? No? Are those in which you put away one and then there's a tiny one inside and a tiny one inside? Okay. Now, these buildings were built nesting those like. This is because when they changed the power, the new family used to build his own structure up to the previous one. I next this thing, I next this thing.
Temple 1. It is the greater building in size of Group IA. It consists of 3 construction stages that date to the end of the Pre-Classic and the beginning of the Classic, 100 BC to 250 AD, Late Classic, 700 to 900 AD, and the Late Post-Classic, in 1200 to 1550 AD. Probably, this place was built to honor the deities of the city. It could have symbolized a type of threshold between the sacred and the earthly. Under the temple floor, the bones remains of an adult individual were found. 2 of his incisor teeth present dental mutilation, one of them with a pyrite inlay. Archaeological studies indicate that the majority of the stone structures at Chacchoben were once coated in a thick, bright white paint or plaster. This finish served both aesthetic and practical purposes, allowing the buildings to be visible at night using minimal moonlight. Steles, the presence of circular altars, and steles are a sample of the architectonic style that the site had, even if its glyphic inscriptions do not allow its epigraphic decoding, because with the elapsing of years, these are now too eroded. They seem to have been used as markers of calendar dates, mainly related to the equinoxes and solstices.
Well, amigos, over here we're having Las Villas, okay? Las Villas, guys, was a residential area, which means houses. Of whom? Of the elite, of the rich people. Well, in this case, in this specific residential area, used to belong to the a medium high class, okay? Now, the reason why we cannot see the houses anymore, but the foundations where the houses used to be, is because here they made thatched roofs, cabañas, huts, wooden houses. You know, they disintegrate with time. This is how the houses used to look like, guys. So that's why we cannot see them anymore. They were just on top of this structure, okay? In occasions, they used to cover them with a stucco, so then they look like this. But it still is the same skeleton made with wood, right? Still wood disintegrates with time. They abandoned this city 1,000 years ago. So that's why we cannot see the houses anymore. But the foundation, okay? This is because of the weather, guys. We're in the rainforest. It rains a lot the whole year. Sometimes the water can get a little bit high. So the foundation to keep the houses safe from the heavy rains, from the books. But anyway, Mayans also used to bury their dead down their own houses. When they didn't do that, they used to bury them out of the house or at the backyard. In this neighborhood, if we can say so, only one family used to live. I mean, a nuclear family. Grandparents, parents, uncle, nephews, and stuff. We got different residential areas all around. In each one, only one family used to live. You will find that at the end of this plaza, there's a huge platform where the head of the family used to live. Usually grandparents. They usually used to respect a lot old people. And when they die, usually the how we can say so, the older son would get in charge as well, and they just take the area. Okay, so they used to respect the age of the people, if you can say so. Okay, now over here in Chacchoben, they got a population of over 6,000 to 10,000 people. Okay, they got 6,000 to 10,000 people, and there are some studies in which apparently they could get until 20,000. But that was a super short period. They only got from 6,000 to 10,000 mainly over here. This was a medium-sized town, guys. Now, if you're wondering why they decided to build their city over here, just like any other civilization, first of all, because of the fresh water, okay? We're having a lagoon nearby, which eventually gets to a river, so fresh water for drinking.
In this building, they placed an altar decorated with geometric elements, rectangles, triangles, and circles, as well as designs of crossed stripes. The pictorial composition includes several colors, among them red, yellow, blue, white, and green. Other strokes resemble the combination of butterfly and turtle. Relation butterfly, turtle. It refers to the astronomical event that consists of the proximity or conjunction of planet Venus and the Orion constellation. The butterfly represents movement that in turn is linked to planet Venus as the sun messenger and in charge of taking the messages to humans. The turtle was related to celestial context. It refers to a constellation of the pre-Hispanic World. Just outside the ancient city of Chacchoben, the journey doesn't quite end yet. Tucked beneath the jungle canopy is a small but vibrant gift shop, a final stop that bridges the past with the present. They are handcrafted items inspired by Mayan culture, from detailed stone replicas and carved masks to woven textiles bursting with color and symbolism. Many of these designs reflect powerful elements of Mayan life: the jaguar, a symbol of strength and the underworld, celestial calendars tied to astronomy and time, and gods that once shaped daily rituals and beliefs. What makes this stop special isn't just the souvenirs, it's the craftsmanship. These pieces echo traditions passed down through generations, blending ancient techniques with modern expression. Jewelry crafted in jade-like stone and obsidian pays tribute to materials the Maya once valued deeply, stones believed to carry protection, power, and spiritual meaning. The gift shop offers more than keepsakes. It's a moment to slow down, reflect, and take a small piece of Chacchoben's story with you, not as something taken, but as something remembered. As we wrap up our visit here at the Chacchoben Mayan Ruins, it's incredible to think that these stones have been standing for more than 1,000 years, quietly watching generations come and go. Hidden deep in the jungle of Costa Maya, Chacchoben feels less like a tourist stop and more like a living reminder of the brilliance, spirituality, and resilience of the ancient Maya. From the towering pyramids to the sacred plazas, every structure tells a story of ceremony, astronomy, community, and a civilization that was far ahead of its time. Walking these paths, you can't help but imagine what life was like here centuries ago. The rituals, the celebrations, and the daily rhythm of a thriving Mayan city. Places like Chacchoben remind us why travel matters. It's not just about where we go, but about the stories we uncover and the connections we make with the past. If you're planning a stop in Costa Maya, visiting the Chacchoben Mayan Ruins is an unforgettable experience. Peaceful, powerful, and deeply humbling. If you enjoyed this journey, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves history, culture, and adventure. Thanks for exploring Costa Maya with us. Until the next destination, keep traveling, keep learning, and keep the adventure alive.